and there'll be character sheets. There should be. There should be 2 different ones.
I would say, Matt, you said I will have residual damage. How much damage will I have? I had one ag, and that's it. Since it was a...
You can heal the egg.
Yeah.
I think you can heal superficial faster than once a night.
Yeah.
I think it's once a round. Like superficial is easy. Superficial is easy. Ag is once a night. Let me triple check. Because I have this.
One mend amount, one superficial.
Okay, just spent. We were able to spend points over this bit, right? Or was that not a thing?
Yep. Usually, when you spend XP, it is written in the deck.
Okay. Oh right. So I can now transform into a giant moth person. Yay! It will cause no problems whatsoever, I guarantee.
All of the problems.
Leon turns into a giant moth and just starts bumping into like a
Goes right into a light.
But
Well,
say we
here
go to
we
work
are.
every day.
here.
We're
Thanks
all
to
here
Raid
now.
Shadow Legends.
Oh, you.
God damn it.
Mm.
So when Mercy
Hold on.
dies tonight,
Hold
I'll
on.
know. You know.
See,
I'm
I'm
getting
just
the
saying
dice.
but Matt can't kill me because he knows what I'll create next.
Yeah, you're fairly safe, but Mercy, on the other hand,
Yeah, you can't keep doing that.
Mercy, pick a
Oh yeah,
number
'cause it's been me every
between
time.
1 and
for
10.
sure.
Hey, journey now.
I mean, it
Oh
kind of
my
figures
God.
Maggie has to keep the favorite daughter.
Fun fact, Maggie might have a new favorite after a conversation that was had this week.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my.
Spoil the grandkid.
Oh
Mm.
look, laughter. It's a coward's response to oblivion.
That was so good. Oh my god, that was so enjoyable. Okay.
Wait.
Anyway, welcome back to the Reign of Masters, the game where I
The
throw
points
really
are made
big.
up, and
That too. Points are made up
And
and
nothing
nothing matters.
Drink to it.
On that
Yeah.
fun topic, we have returned once again after an interesting week, especially in the downtime discords of conversations and questionable loyalties and concerns and intrigue and all the fun I
Anger.
words. I don't know. Anger. There was anger. There was love. There was laughter. We lived, laughed,
Love?
loved.
Love?
No, live, laugh, leave by 9.
Live,
And
laugh,
yeah.
leech. Live, laugh,
There's
leave
no-
by 9.
There's no slaughter without laughter.
That's true. Very, very true. Last
That's
time,
good.
though, we had encountered a bit of a sticky situation at Mercy's art gallery, where some things went down, some bodies were turned into pretzels, splattered along the walls, and fortunately, there was a small bit of grace that Mercy received, pun very intended, that helped her out of that situation. When we come back from our intro video, let's start with Mercy and Braggy and see how that played out in a brief recap.
Kobe?
Okay. Well, I had the desktop sound
We
muted
talked-
for that, fortunately.
We
so-
talk about the mighty, mighty moist tones?
Oh god. Oh no. Oh no.
Y'all don't want to know what I managed to discover about my wife and her visceral reactions to
Oh.
words.
I did not know that's where that was going.
So we're live again.
We are,
Again.
yes, again, for
Yeah.
at least 10 more seconds until Twitch decides we've broken all the service terms. So,
Oh no, you're not allowed to say moist.
Man.
anyway, in the time that we have discussed the relative humidity of things, Mercy and Braggy, last time when we left off, you had been facing a bit of a conundrum. Would you please elaborate for everyone involved how that went down and played out?
I would love to hear what Braggy's experience of that was, because I feel like I kind of dogpiled that thread, and so
I pictured him standing there confused, like, whatever, I don't care. Just get me the fuck out of here.
Braggy was definitely starting to find his voice. He was confused and angry, and he wasn't sure which way was up. Honestly, after everything that's been going down and all the chaos that's ensued recently, but he did start to find his voice and start to really stand up for himself, and instead of just trying to fit in directly, he's kind of more or less forcing himself to grow as a result of the most recent things he's done with the whole fight with Claymore. He's like, dude, I'm screwed if I don't start doing something different. So he's learning real quick. He's got to do something, otherwise he will wind up dead, or completely undead, or dead. I don't know. It's all relative.
Extra dead, I believe, is what it's called.
Yeah.
extra dead.
Super dead. Something.
That's fair. So, Mercy's experience of the police force investigating her building after a very large-scale murder, car bombing, and pretzel-making fiasco. So she was able to kind of, she was trying to keep the attention off Braggy, so as soon as the police arrived, she was like, I got this. She activated all and was just trying to keep their focus off of him, because of course he's a missing person, technically. And in a room full of cops, harboring a missing person could look really bad. But she sort of managed that for the most part, I think. And by when she heard the police come in, instead of like continuing to hide and letting them find her, she was like, oh, thank God the police are here. So like came out of the room where they were hiding from danger. And was able, in part because our DM is a kind of benevolent god, to keep them focused on them until actually Maggie's dear friend, perhaps, or perhaps a squashed under thumb officer friend, showed up. Mercy kind of fed them the story that, oh, me and my friend were upstairs touring the building. And we heard the lights went out. We were coming down to check the breakers when we heard the explosion, and we hid in the security office where we thought we could be safe. And was able to deliver that story both to the first on the scene officers, and then of course to Maggie's contact, who was like, right, of course, yes, that sounds like exactly what happened. You poor unfortunate souls. Let's take care of you. And he was kind enough to help the cover story. He had been monitoring at Maggie's recommendation to see what's been going on in the city. I believe they're calling it terroristic attacks. And after I delivered my story about what had gone on, he was able to help Mercy keep the police out of her building, while she organized somebody to board it up and keep everybody out long enough to deal with things. I think that was my entirety of the police situation.
That's
feel like
pretty
that.
good. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good summation of what went down. I would add, which I think that you did touch on, but Garcia has been told by the Prince of Chicago, who has had a long and storied relationship with this man, is the reason that he is where he is, but also knows what he knows and is still alive in many ways. She has instructed him to keep an eye out for things of this nature since the attack at the cemetery. Now, what he has been doing in that regard is mostly watching the buildings of the associates that he is aware of. Mercy, you are number one on that list. Your building is relatively close to Nova, Chicago side speaking, and also, one of the more contested spots, we'll say, since last season. So there's been people with eyes on it. So, let's kind of jump in where that downtime conversation kind of left off. There were, I would say there was probably a night, that initial night of just healing up for some of you, getting your bearings, finding safe havens. The next couple of nights, however, there were conversations had specifically hinting at certain aspects of how things are leaking, how information is getting to your enemies, and why you all seem to be on the back burner so much with regards to them. And I believe at least one of you, I think it was more than that in private conversations as well, came to the conclusion that there might be something that you should address. And with that, I would like to have all of my leeches give me a rouse check as you wake up for the night, nice and maybe hungry. No one knows. Egret, you, as always, enjoy the benefits of ghouldom.
So, Matt, just checking. To be clear,
Nope.
this is game 2
This is
where
game
I am...
Number deuce.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You're feeling it
I have to pay
sleeping,
for it.
but you're paying a little bit.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Interesting.
That's a bad time.
It's not a great time.
So, quick question.
Go on.
By 5th edition rules, it is plausible that a vampire never actually has to drink blood.
Not
Not
from
really.
a living
You'll
human,
fail.
maybe, but
Are you asking, like, if a vampire passed their rouse check forever, then it's cool?
Yeah. I just mean, that's why I said plausible.
statistically, it would be an anomaly to spend the rest of your nights not hungry. But yeah, it's possible. Everything is possible, technically. Probable? No.
Mm-mm.
But as you all wake up, some of you becoming a little peckish, we'll say. What are the plans for this evening? How do you plan to go about your fact-finding mission, let's say?
Well, I gotta hit up Nova, because there's a meeting that needs to be had.
True.
Is that before or after we gut me?
Are we all going to Nova?
We're not gutting you.
Yeah.
Unless there's something inside it.
Well,
Let's say we start off at Nova in one of our familiar, my favorite, meeting rooms. And you know what? I think spooky music
The
is
wine.
in order, because why not?
The wine room.
The wine room, where Mercy spent many of her early nights whining.
Was there cheese with the wine?
There's
No.
always a little cheese with the wine.
Only vomit.
My only question is, Is there still a little bit of a stain in the corner
Absolutely.
on the floor?
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of like because these floors are like very nice wooden floors. There's the crack in the wood from the person who inflicted the stain. It was a hard hit down. But yeah, that's the room you
Okay.
use because that's the best room, I think.
I'm a fan.
Ironically, that was a story about a heart as well, so it kind of works out for tonight.
Wasn't it though? I still have that picture floating around. Go ahead.
I think I still have that picture floating around too. It lives in my
not
nightmares.
not to distract other people. I'll put it in the Discord. As we move on.
So essentially, we all find our way to Nova. In the familiar meeting room, it's a very popular hangout for you all. And I'm just gonna let you guys talk because it's your game. I'm just here, overseeing like a weird voyeur.
Kinky.
I like being watched.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Bruce, you sweet summer child.
Jesus. Alrighty then.
yes she did. Anyway,
My heart has teeth.
okay, so I imagine the people in Nova currently are Leon, Roland, Egret, Rocky, and Mercy.
Yeah, I feel like that's how we awoke who awoke in Nova, or Nova's premise.
As a note, just for the recorded keeping of records, Roland, you are healed completely at this point. The damage that you took with your little encounter with Claymore, you survived and you've come back stronger. That shirt though, that shirt's ruined. You're gonna have to get a new shirt. Sorry.
It's fine.
Were you wearing the jacket?
No.
Just checking. No reason.
Subtle. I feel like Tony and Six, having been off-site, would probably arrive shortly after this, unless we want them to have already shown up. If you guys want to do like private stuff before we pop in, that's cool too.
I don't have anything private.
I think we had, so just also for the record, we did have a sort of private-esque meeting with Braggy, Roland, Egret, and Mercy, where we kind of discussed, we debriefed on the evening, what our next steps were and stuff.
I think it was more of a cleansing.
Okay, so what happened was...
What happened?
Roland was continuing to be a jerk to Braggy about his technical skill or lack thereof. And
I believe his technical skill was never mentioned.
No, his
I'm gonna keep
choices
listening.
were.
But I'm going to need more alcohol for this, so I'll be...
I believe that he never mentioned anything about his skills at all. It was more of a lack of forethought when he does things.
Okay, you're right. You know what? That's fair. So what had happened was Roland said that Braggy was a dumb bull in a china shop, and that he had to be smarter, but he wasn't saying it very nicely because dumb bull in a china shop was one of the nicer ways that it was put to us. And Mercy, I'm going to say, gave a reality check to the whole situation, in that, you know, a lot of the things that we're holding against Braggy, they were two far more experienced kindred who could have had any sort of plan in place that wasn't shaving our heads and dyeing our skin funny colors. And we could have done better about that. And so, but we did. We had that talk. We had to come to Jesus about, like, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all to Braggy. Speak to me, his sire. And
Also, Ygritte pointed out to Bragi that part of the reason why Roland doesn't let him help on things is because Roland has been a tech head longer than Broggy's even been alive, with his being a vampire. And, even if he trusted Broggy with his life, he is still a
Maybe
now I
one
can't
tech,
think of the
maybe
word.
maybe one tech head who really likes to work with other people.
A variable. That was it. And the whole thing about technology and hacking is reducing variables.
That's fair. But yeah, so we had that conversation, kind of talked that out. And one of the other things that came up was that it's come to our attention that there's some sort of hidden device somewhere that is perhaps how our electronics were hacked into, how our very secure chat between us, our coterie, was leaked. And our concern is, at this point in time, that the device is inside Braggy somewhere, because he was recently created by somebody who likes to fuck with things and leave unpleasant surprises inside of bodies, hence our exploding zombies. And so we were trying to acquire a device with which to see if there's anything inside of our friend.
That's fun. And I'm so glad that you all finally realized it.
I fucking hate you. Finally realized. Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, it only took a monster in human skin to show us that our call wasn't safe.
Yeah, to be fair though, who really thinks of, they embedded a bug in him that he doesn't even know about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty dark, actually. What kind of monster comes up with that?
On that note,
this guy.
I feel like I should apologize for having to enter the scene with a hunger of 3, because I feel like right about the time that this conversation is going on, the beeps of the door security password being punched in would happen. The door would pop, and Antonius and Six as well would walk in, but Antonius probably has his K-bar out in his hand, like, all right, we doing this?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beans. I guess we're gonna have to.
Okay, as much as you all think that I don't like him, maybe cutting him open is not the first option.
Because it's interesting, I'm gonna say that Will comes down to see what the commotion is and just to check on you all.
It could be the fun option. Just say.
When Will shows up,
Why am I the one defending Broggy at this juncture?
because you've come around completely.
Because I suppose someone has to.
This is poetic
When Will comes around, he notices that both Antonius and Six have joined. He has known, because of his duties at Nova, that you're all taking up residence in the meeting room this evening, and he was also there the other night when one of you came back with a large gash in you, looking really rough, and
Nearly in 2 pieces.
Egret's Kevlar required the removal of shrapnel from it. Which, by the way, your Kevlar is all good. You got some new plates and all that fun stuff. You're good to go. No detriment there.
She also used Roland's credit card to send him. She thought about a fruit basket, but then she decided on a bottle of whiskey instead.
Oh, good choice.
That's fair. Good call.
He also would have, when you told him it was a car bomb and your car got destroyed, he would have went, first time, huh? So.
Only fair.
He's not bitter.
Not at all. No, not even a little bit.
I'm not
This
apologizing.
is because call it karma, I guess.
Karma,
Damn.
indeed.
Karma.
I'm sorry. Again,
Oh.
it's Father's Day the other day. I'm a little punch drunk as it is. It's going to be Dad Joke Central tonight. I apologize.
We're going to
So,
be really punny today.
very
Great.
punny. The punniest we've ever been.
This our punishment?
Before we get too
Zoe.
derailed, Will shows up, opens the door, says, so, you're all still alive? That sounds good. I'm glad that more of you don't look like Roland the other night.
Me too.
What's going down? Anything that
you-
I should be aware of?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lower your voice, first off,
Absolutely.
for reasons.
Okay.
Do you have, and he'll pull him just aside, just a little bit, still in the room, just talking quiet. Everybody can see, all of them can see their mouths moving, but the volume is clearly lowered, so everyone knows what is being said. Do you have any form of device, metal detector, or anything that we can, I don't know, run over Braggy's torso or detect anything that might have been implanted that will give away our fucking locations?
Are
You
we
want to run over his torso? I'll get the jeep.
Are you talking about like shrapnel that we need to find, or?
No, we're talking about tracking devices. So I remind you that we found this poor fool in a pit full of zombies that had been implanted with claymore mines. We
That's a fair
think
point.
he had something else in his body somewhere. Don't know where. That's the fun part. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, and he'll lean back from Will and turn and look directly at Leon. So, can you do the thing that you do to others as well as yourself? And could it be less painful than the alternative?
Well, see, that is an interesting thing because yes and no. In that order.
Okay then. Easy then.
Will is like,
And-
I'm sorry, what are we talking about? What can she do? You know what? I've thought better of my question. Never mind.
Metal detector, anything like that?
Yeah.
Egret will
can-
pipe up
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey, one of your guys was supposed to tell you we needed the wand thingy."
Oh, yeah.
That'll do.
I'll go grab that. Should I bring
Yeah,
Maggie
know-
down? Should she know about what's going on? Yeah.
You know.
No,
so
you know what? It's fine.
she's the prince. If you think she should know, that's not our place.
But she said tell Fee.
That.
I'll let Fee know. Fee'll make a better decision than I would, and then she becomes the messenger, not me. I'll be right back with
Yep.
that metal detector.
Net win. Thank
Hey,
you. Thank you.
Smart man.
Will then quickly turn and pivot out of the room, and returning 10 to 15 minutes later with both a wand, and then additionally he's like, actually, I got this new thing that I was trying to play around with. After we saw that thing in the ammo, right? That little whatever you guys
Yeah.
brought back. I thought about it, and Maggie had a little money on the card. I had a little money saved up, so I bought this new scanner that it's like an X-ray, like a portable X-ray scanner. I don't know if it'll work with you guys, but I brought
Especially
that
him.
too. So
It's fair. Thank you.
also, I let Fee know, and I'm gonna leave now just in case.
You know what? Your
Shake
hands are
Will's
clean.
hand. One last thing. Could you do me just one real little favor?
Okay, what's up?
Could you bring in I don't know, 3 to 5 bags of, the sustenance, just in case.
Oh,
Not
Make it
for
yeah,
7.
something like
actually,
that, because we're gonna need some after.
absolutely.
Did you have a tarp, by the way?
Fee probably didn't tell you.
No. He will not make any. I will not make any mess. I promise.
Okay.
Anyway, Fee probably didn't tell you, but she upgraded these rooms, and he'll walk over to one of the wine shelves on the wall and like push in on it in a spot, and it will pop open, and it's a fridge full of blood.
How full?
Roll 2d10.
Oh, all right.
D10 to go. That's not
5.
good.
5 blood bags.
Tony will go, oh, thank fuck, and snag one. And
Okay.
begin.
Thanks, Will.
Absolutely. I'm out. And will vacate the premises.
Will.
Will, in fact.
Great. Wonderful.
Will willfully will his way.
Braggy. My man. I'm sorry.
I know this is gonna probably hurt like a bitch, but I know it's got to be done.
Not just
Well, this
that,
part
man.
won't.
Not just that. This is what? Have you made it 2 weeks of this bullshit yet?
Coming
Probably
up.
somewhere around there.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's always a different kind of fucked for everyone. I'll tell you that much. This is kind of extra fucked in a different.
Bomb in the chest is new.
On that, I'm gonna say, I'm really, really sorry. Ditch the shirt and lay on the fucking table.
Well, he
Bold
can
of
lay
you.
down yet. It may, depending on the thing, don't we need to check the front and back? So,
Mhm.
standing, T-pose for us, darling, and we'll get you up on the table if we find anything.
Bold of you to assume Braggy was wearing a shirt to begin with because he knew what was coming.
I like that.
I mean, we can just take him apart.
The
and
question
put him
is,
back
will
there.
it work on our friend
Let's
here?
find out.
Who wants to do it? Okay, Fee. Fee. God damn it! I hate that you've done this to me.
To be fair, Fee was here before Fee was there, so.
Oh God. Ugh. Mercy will grab the wand and start head to toe.
You give me awareness or investigation intelligence.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Why not?
Do you want me to put a difficulty in or just?
Nope. 0 or 1 is fine. That's pretty good. 2. You spend the better part of 10-15 minutes wanding Braggy in all of the interesting locations that you might be able to discern someone would hide something. And notice there's a couple of like maybe false beeps because those wands they're kind of finicky. If you wave them too fast, they kind of beep every now and then. Nothing definitive. You return to some spots. You don't seem to be able to find any indication that there's anything there.
Bertie will report that. Nothing here, as far as I can tell. We could try the X-ray thing if we think it'll. I mean, I guess it's only one way to find out if it'll work. Does someone else want to give that a try? I don't know. Maybe I'm just never used one of these before.
With vicissitude, I could just feel around.
Let's try to be less invasive about it if we don't have to.
That does seem uncomfortable.
I can try and see if I can.
Roland,
out.
I would say if you want to use, you're probably one of the only people, aside from Braggy himself, that could utilize this specific scanner. This is going to be a tech intelligence roll to utilize this scanner. It is a interesting little bit of tech.
All right. Difficulty?
Difficulty of 3.
Oof. Well.
Wow.
Easily accomplished. The thing that you notice, it's a pretty cool scanner. It is it's more than subdermal. It goes it's pretty well a portable X-ray. It's similar to like what dentists are using nowadays to take scans of your teeth and that sort of stuff. It's almost like a handheld gun with a little readout screen. Yeah, it's very nice. It's more directed. It's not necessarily a field of electromagneticism that it is looking for, but actually permeating the flesh.
Hmm.
There is a noticeable mark that extends from Braggy's left carotid artery that flows down into his chest, right around his heart, and looks to encapsulate his heart. And then it also extends further down into his rib cage on that side.
Oh, fuck, is it a bomb too?
And as you
Oh.
discover this mass, we will call it, there is 3 poignant, loud knocks on the door. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh no.
Tony will open the door.
Who would knock here?
I don't know, but we have a problem.
So, my guess is whatever happens to him, either, well, that is a bomb, or it is something that will crush his heart.
Or
Braggy,
just
go
destroy
stand in
him.
the corner, please.
Or
Over
just
there.
destroy him.
Go stand in the corner.
We will work
So
on
what
it.
I propose I can do is excise the heart, and then you, Monsieur, could disarm it.
You could pull it out of the body without destroying it, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Vicissitude is a fuck up.
Oh boy.
Tony opened the door, though.
He
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Let's see what's going on here.
Antonius, at the door.
Open the door and kind of stand in the way a little bit defensively, just to kind of prevent if it was going to be an attack or something.
As you
Is there
open
knife
the
still in your hand?
door, you you look out at your eye level. Below you, the prince stands, arms folded behind her, and says to you, I hear that you're going to be cutting into my grandchild this evening.
No cutting involved, I guarantee.
It was a precaution, and he will flip his cable around, put it away, and open the door the rest of the way for the prince to allow her entry.
She will step into the room.
Yeah, he's rolling there with
And he will shut the door and make sure it locks and seals and all the doohickeys do its thing
Understandable.
after she's in. Unless she has anyone else behind her.
No, it is just her.
Okay.
She steps in and waits for the door to close before she says to the presumably silent room, while I do appreciate your gumption in addressing this issue, because he is a master's by order, I would have appreciated a bit of a heads up. However, I will hold no grudges against anyone here. But I will be here for the remainder of this procedure.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
we might have an explosive situation here.
I would prefer nothing personal.
Explosive how?
Literally?
Yeah, what
I'm
she said.
not sure.
Like flaming car bombs? And frankly, I think the less of us in this room, the better.
I'm perfectly
Do I see
fine.
ball bearings in him?
You see a couple of spots that are like on an X-ray when you get like a blockage of something, like a large patch of something. You see a couple of those, but nothing. No individual ball bearings show up on this scanner.
Okay. So,
The prince continues. Well, How do you mean explosive in the literal sense? Who has a bomb in my club? That is a clear violation of of course it's you.
Yeah, we kind of just found it, and
Do you,
Well,
I
Maggie, I
didn't know
wouldn't hold
about
it
it.
against him because it's not in your club. It's in your grandson.
that's fair.
And Claymore is the name you're probably looking for.
Yes, it's Claymore's fault. Indeed.
Well, isn't everything
It also
he's
might
not?
actually be a claymore.
No, she's known for her sword, not the explosive device.
Well,
He
should
told
Well,
us.
Tony will just kind of lean slightly over the prince and look at Leon and be like,
To be
"Prince is
fair,
taller than her."
it might be more of a bouncing Betty than a Claymore, but let's.
Semantics
Well-
at this point.
I am quite happy to serve as a shield for you all. I'm far more resilient than some of you.
I do have an idea.
Yes.
The Mitsibon is quite durable, no? If we could encase the parts of Bragi that would poop, then perhaps it would not only save the room and Her Highness, but Bragi himself.
Unless it's a nuclear bomb, I have a good chance of coming out of here unscathed.
No?
And
Bon,
to be
bon.
and to be fair, it's around his heart, so encasing it might centralize the explosion onto his heart and may kill him.
Well, now that's a problem because I do believe I've made a promise to keep him alive.
That's
Which
fair.
Are we able to see this this imaging that you got, or was it like you took the
Oh
pictures
yeah, no,
and
there's
saw
like
these
a
things?
separate
This is-
scanner that has been sat on the table, and Roland's
Okay.
going through and like tweaking settings on the actual like scanning part, but the monitor for the scan is being shown to all of you. You can all see
Okay.
what Roland has seen. At this, the prince actually goes, you know, there's some new tricks I've picked up. I might be able to remove it in a more or a less obtrusive way. Leon, you are familiar with this.
Leon had, in fact, offered such a suggestion.
What better chance to see?
Yeah,
And Maggie will sit down in one of the chairs and lean back, arms folded.
I would caution you to be careful. I would point out various things that you should avoid.
Mhm.
Make sure we get it all out, and then I'm going to have to disarm it.
Well, is anybody else more qualified in this room?
I don't think so, but
Maggie
Not
raises
my
her
area.
hand and
Oh.
says, I have been playing a lot with it. But other than that, I would
No,
love
I-
to see your talents, dear.
You honor me.
Is there a way?
To-
Please.
Sorry. Tony 6, you will most likely need to hold him down.
Yeah.
As you wish.
On the other side of the room, you just hear Ygritte like undoing and redoing her Kevlar tighter.
Before anything begins, we were just discussing the potential of this device closing and perhaps crushing his heart or detonating when we begin to mess with it. Is there a good way to try and you were saying something about safeguarding his heart?
Well, it would, if it is some kind of mechanism to crush it, I could essentially put something that will grab it and keep it from closing. The Mitsibon is very strong.
It doesn't
Oh,
look
I
like it's
see.
something crushing. It looks like it's designed that if we move it or remove it, it might blow. I don't think crushing is what's going on,
Mhm.
but I'm not well versed in what's going on here.
Well, once we see, we will know.
Yeah.
But
Egret, I would look away if you don't want to see any of this.
Ygritte's already in the forest, the far corner, where she has pulled a few chairs in front of her. She knows it's useless, but she is not having it.
I
Mercy
have
will
very
stand in front of Egret also.
I will have very little to say once this starts, but my suggestions: I will hold one arm, Six holds the other. Roland and Leon, opposite sides of the table. Leon can pull out and open, and Roland can get access to it. Also,
That's a lot of rose checks.
if you are
Oh, boy.
injured,
Yes, it is.
those of you who drink blood in this room, I recommend you exercise your ability to not breathe. You will not want to smell this.
Not as bad as you think it is. Some of those were rouse re-rolls. It's only a 4. She's only a 4. She's a little hungry.
Okay.
Only at 4. Okay.
Only.
Okay.
You just slowly open the case that has the blood in it.
She can't have those.
Oh, fuck right!
Who plays the
Got
piano in
problems.
this room?
Hey, actually, I think we have a
Actually,
new,
oh,
a new
oh, wait a
I
minute.
can't.
handle.
I can't
No,
have those
hold on a
either.
sec.
You got Broggy.
Because
You're about to cut open a musician,
you're about to cut open a musician. That's
and
a fair
Maggie's
point.
very hungry.
I am not going to be cutting. I'm going to be molding.
There won't be running blood, which is a thing.
Also
But
true.
if you can like choose to not breathe, I recommend it because you will be very hungry. He will say that, and then he'll kind of like lean in on like holding like one of Braggy's arms down, going like, "Sorry, man."
Wait,
Um,
wait. This is going to hurt, right?
Oh, Savage.
Yeah, I would go with yes.
Then get me something that I can bite down on.
I mean,
You're just going to bite through it.
Yeah.
He sighs. He looks over at Magdalena as if for permission,
no.
not saying anything. Meets her eyes.
Leo,
If she gives him like a nod or something, he'll reach over to the bottom of a chair, snap the leg of it off, and like have a piece of wood to like open
She would give you the nod for sure.
and essentially give him something to bite down on.
and screaming too. If
That's
it
more
comes
what
to
it's
that.
for. Oh,
And then
oh,
like once again like lean back into place to hold him. Oh boy.
One more
So-
thing before we begin.
Hmm.
Do you think, and Braggy, of course, please, your input here is welcome, but do you think it would be possible to ensnare his mind to help drag his attention away from what is happening?
Oh, sure. I think I can probably handle that. Hey Braggy.
Yeah.
He's like holding like he's kind of like leaning on like his bicep, has his other hand like in like a grip. I'm gonna need you to look at me the whole time. And if it's bad, just like let me know. Just don't lose your gaze with me, alright?
Braggy just nods.
Okay,
And
here's
it'll go
how
like
this is going to go. Because Braggy is willing and also restrained, flesh crafting works as vicissitude. It is much like you are sculpting your own flesh because he is willing it to happen as well.
Mhm.
Which means that you will roll a resolve plus your protean number of dots you have in protean. Every success will allow a single vicissitude change to be made to the user, though the total number of changes cannot exceed your rating. So, I would like you to describe them to me as you are doing them.
So I can make 3 changes.
If you roll 3 successes.
If you roll 3
If I roll
successes,
3 successes.
and it is your
Mm.
resolve and your protean.
Okay.
Remembering that you have willpower to re-roll should you need it.
Hmm.
And the prince is watching, no pressure.
No
Oh,
pressure.
no,
No pressure.
no. Hold on, let me pull up my character sheet. Resolve and protein.
Don't you guys
You know-
hate just when child-proof?
You know, doctors have music to make them calm down while they do surgeries. Do you want something?
Any special requests?
If you start playing the party wagon, Maggie will frenzy.
100%. All
Alexa,
but a
play
couple of you.
What's that? Hold on. Cut my heart into pieces.
Oh, no, we don't need no
Lost
Papa
resort.
Roach in here.
Wah, wah.
Oh god, no,
Perfectly
please.
good.
Alexa, play Sandstorm.
No, it would be the ya's heads will roll.
Oh god.
Excellent.
Okay. D10. Okie dokie.
God, I'm really stressed out right now.
Why? You shouldn't be
You and
stressed
you're not-
out.
Yeah,
You're not even the one on the
you're not
table.
doing anything.
All right. Okay.
What?
It would not let me do anything with that on the sheet. So
So how you would do that, you would roll your... You'd click on the resolve thing, and then you would add however many dots you have in protean.
it will not give me any.
If you popped it out, it has to go on. It goes up back on.
Resolve second attribute.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you will write no attributes, and then after that,
It will say add dice
it'll-
pool
Oh.
modifier, and then that would be
Okay,
your
okay,
protean dice.
okay.
whatever,
Okay.
however many
Yep,
dots you have in protean will be...
Here we go. Difficulty.
Go ahead and put 0 because we're really just looking for successes.
Hmm. Love to hear it.
So you got 3 successes, which means that you can make your 3 changes to Braggy's flesh and bone.
A portrait in broad strokes.
I hate how you just settled back as Maggie. I don't know if you know that about yourself.
There is, I think it's been discussed, at least in private, that Maggie is like this subconscious part of me that just came out when we started these games many, many, many years ago. And
Maggie is just Matt's real-life beast.
yeah, that's true. That's 100% accurate, I think.
I
Okay.
understand this.
Okay.
She is my Raytog.
Accolage Symphon. And she stands to the side and just
That's a good song.
digs deep into the rib cage, and you just see it kind of sink in as if it was made out of putty. And she spreads the ribs wide, go off like this.
boy.
And you can see that the tension of the skin kind of starts to pull it apart, revealing the beating heart. And then she's going to reach in down to the spine. And again, using vicissitude, kind of just elongating it and pulling it forward, bringing the heart and the rib cage up.
Okay, that's
So it's
2 changes.
2 changes.
Before we go to the third,
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you what you all see.
Right.
The device that surrounds Braggy's no longer beating heart does not look like an implement to explode or crush. It is made of like an almost translucent but semi opaque plastic with about 4 to 5 needles, all injecting into the different chambers of Braggy's heart. Because you started at the rib cage, from there you notice a series of tubes, very fine tubes, that run down to what appear to be several blood sacs and a small pump that no longer is running. The blood sacs that are in Braggy's ribcage, noticeably empty, and these are the things that you saw on the scanner as the small white patches that you couldn't see through. But there are probably 4 to 5 of them there.
That's why he wasn't hungry when we first.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
L'enfer. They were feeding him from the inside.
I assume it was set up to keep him alive, to try and make sure somebody lived from their experiment. It's my only thought process here. I don't have the mind of them.
Do you think we should leave it in, or we've already come this far? Should we take it out?
As a quick note, Leon, give me a rouse check as well to activate flesh crafting, because we forgot to do that.
Yes, of course.
From her corner, you hear Ygritte go, could it be that blood bonding thing we talked about?
I was actually thinking, I'm like, is that cute? Would that be human blood in those little bags, or would that be?
Well, if they're empty, I mean, we can take them out and we can see, but
He's not in
If there's-
danger because he's sorry, Braggy, but because he's open up right now, right?
He doesn't appear to be in any danger, nor, because he is willing, a lot of discomfort. Braggy, this is fucking weird. This is like somebody's peeling you open and you can feel every bit of bone and sinew moving out of the way and changing and contorting and twisting. It's like pressure, but not pain per se. But it's very weird.
Okay.
Do not worry, I can probably put you back together.
When Tony sees Braggy's eyes get a little bigger when this is going on, he says, Braggy, look at me. Relax.
Hmm.
And he's going to try and dominate him to relax.
Nice.
And you can choose to fail if you want to.
You can. In this moment,
If you want to save time.
You are familiar with the abilities enough. As this hits you, you can choose to just let it wash over you and ride it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna fail on purpose here.
You feel better. Still odd feeling down in this area, but you feel better.
So since he's stable, would it be a terrible idea to try and use the scanner wand again to see if there's anything we're not seeing electronics-wise?
we can.
I feel like that might be a good idea.
Sure.
Tech
I'll
intelligence.
scan.
Difficulty is only 1, really, at this point. He's splayed open, so you're getting all up in there.
I'm talking but now just for purposes, not the X-ray thing, but the. Well, I mean, I guess Roland can use the X-ray thing and find as much as the device can.
Braggy sees what, Roland sees what Braggy had for lunch before he was turned. Aside from that,
yeah, there's no bowel movement at this juncture.
Aside from that,
Tuna fish? Really?
They never
Canon,
tell you how
that's
they
canon.
shit themselves when they die.
actually, I believe in VTM, it's very much Anne Rice, where you expel everything at the moment of unlife. So
Yeah.
you got
No.
nothing left in you. But still,
So
it's
if
fun
you
to
were
say.
addicted to something, like, and in the throes of either withdrawal or the need to imbibe in your habit, and then you turned, would you like expel those toxins and that would just be gone? It's
Instantly.
like instant withdrawal.
Yep.
That's cool.
That's
It-
fucked.
Could be cool, I guess.
Oh, no. She's thinking about how she can use that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right. No,
That's
don't worry
fair.
about it. Everything's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. No, I like where
I'm
your
gonna
head's
open up
at.
a rehab center. I'm gonna call it Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh,
on
Shovelhead
that
Central.
lovely note, essentially what you're seeing with both metal detector wand and scanner is only the metal detector wand does not still even inside, you like stick it in just a little bit without touching the sides, like you're playing Operation,
Operation.
and it does not
Is it
detect
what
anything
you-
internally.
Meh.
That just
but-
means it's not metal.
That's true. But you'd still notice the from the heart up, there are, and you can see them at this point since the heart is mostly exposed. There are a series of wires, not tubes like the blood bags were leading to, but wires, electronic wires leading up to a spot on Braggy's neck, around the left carotid.
All right. Well,
Wires are more concerning.
yes. But
Did you
let's
scan-
see.
One
we
is
can-
red, one is blue.
Did you
The blue
scan?
one, the blue one.
Roland's colorblind.
God damn
Wouldn't
it.
it be
Anyway.
funny if we get this bug out and we just like put it next to like a TV that's playing the entire series of Friends or something?
The B
Oh
movie.
dear God.
On blue.
Did you scan his head?
Aw.
Let's move it up to his head then.
With 7
Just look at me, buddy.
successes.
Just look at me.
With 7 successes on the scanner, you do notice that there is a wire that goes from the spot in the neck up further behind his left ear.
Oh, fantastic. This is great. Yay. We're going to do our best here.
You can
Tony
make
will
one
glance-
more change, Leon. And I'm sorry, Tony, you were saying?
I was going to say, Tony's going to look over his shoulder at the prince and say, "Forgive my impertinence, but does your friend have any comments about how interestingly this is wired? I can't think of anyone else that would pull something like this."
She kind of looks off to the side and her eyes kind of look around the room a little bit before saying, "Relatively quiet on this topic. I do believe this could have been something after his time."
Yes, ma'am. That is concerning. And he'll go back to holding.
So, do we look at the head or do we continue on with the heart?
Well, that brings up a very good point. Are you going to be able to close him back up?
Eventually.
Oh, no.
I assume, like with everything, it takes time, right?
Sure,
Art-
no, you're right. I'm sure this
my
is a
dear,
fine
art is a
situation.
process.
These changes, as a note, if because they are physical changes that are being done in this manner, if Leon does not revert them to their original state, these are permanent disfigurations.
This is Broggy's life now. He's a ribcage monster from Silent Hill.
We'll see.
Bruce, I am so sorry.
Oh,
And you are worried about rolling.
Just don't say oops.
Just don't drop your watch in there. You'll never get it back.
God.
So, Bragi, you will have to be very focused for this next part because we need to see what is on your mind?
Boo.
Bragg's just going along with it. He's just going along with it. He has no choice. He's going along with it.
Turn your head that way, and she'll point so that the wire is like most exposed towards the thing.
I would not think about it, Broggy. Code in your head.
Bragg just nods.
So this is this is what Leon's going to do. She is going to
We
put
needed more tension.
a hand on each side of Broggy's forehead like this, and kind of like an orange.
Now you're a clicker from
Peel
Last of Us.
the skin and the bone apart, revealing the brain.
Oh no.
Braggy, this moment in time, I'm gonna need you to roll a resist frenzy check for me. Your pool size monitor.
Can I give him more because I'm dominating him to relax? Can he get a bonus at least?
Yeah, I'll give you a bonus. I'll lower the difficulty of it to 1. You need to get 1 success because you are being calmed. But for the first time in your life, your eyeballs, where you have, your what is it? Biopic vision, where your eyes see and they do things that they're being moved apart in a way that you're like a chameleon almost, and your eyes are looking at different areas, and it is very
You have prey vision now. You have the vision of a prey animal suddenly.
Yep.
And as a predator, that's fucking terrifying.
You're worse.
Or a hammerhead shark.
It is okay. I did this once before when I turned the man into a chair.
Braggy is remarkably calm in this scenario.
You got this, buddy. You got this, buddy.
Since we've decided there's no longer a likely explosion threat, Mercy will move to Braggy's head also, just to be another point of focus.
No one said that. It just might be a localized.
Fair enough.
See what happens.
Since it's unlikely that Ygritte will catch blast damage anymore.
Let's not make any assumptions right now.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Mercy will stand in front of Ygritte.
Look, a briefcase nuke.
Yeah.
let's yeah.
Okay.
Shoe bomb.
As you peel open Braggy's head like an orange, you, which is a fun sentence to say. The thing that you notice the most, you find the end of that wire that was leading up. It comes up to a small, like golden pin, almost. Roland, give me an intelligence and tech.
I'm getting ideas.
So the song that has come on is like so perfect for what's going on.
It's definitely a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty?
Difficulty of, for you, 2.
Oh, fuck.
So, based on the tech that you pulled out of a shotgun shell, this is similar in grade and similar in its construction. Whoever made one made the other.
I think I know who made. It's the same technology that put an extra battery and SIM card into a phone?
Very, very similar, yes.
Oh, yay!
Anybody that's around Braggy right now, so the 2 that are holding him down, if you're looking into the cavity that is his cranium, give me awareness and wits.
Okay.
Us?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Does that include me?
Yeah, you can as well.
Okay.
Awareness and wits?
Awareness and wits.
It's basically the spot check. Okay.
Any difficulty?
I
Just put one.
One.
Oh, why can't I find anything ever? This thing.
So 6 and okay, yes, Leon, we'll wait for you. You got it. Yeah, click awareness first, then other modifier is wits.
I can't find awareness. Why
It
can't
is
I find
under
awareness?
your mental
I
skills.
see it now. Sorry.
Okay.
Met difficulty or
Just one.
Just one.
Okay. Roland and Leon, you see this gold pin, and it doesn't really stand out to you. There's gore on it a little bit to some degree. It's wedged within like a fold of Braggy's brain. However, both Six and Antonius, in very tiny print along the side of this barrel at which you guys can see, you see like a company name, and it's AU Tech Incorporated. Braggy, should they choose to say this out loud, this will tickle something in your mind that reminds you of something.
Tony's gonna look at it and go, oh, AU Tech Incorporated says it on the wire.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
Braggy, the company that you were working for when you died
Oh.
was AU Tech Incorporated.
Ladies and gentlemen, we finally have a target.
Nice.
I've never had a chance to see what happens with vicissitude on gray matter.
No.
You still don't. You've made 3 changes.
That's true.
Well, I think that just means I need to roll again, doesn't it?
It means you have to rouse again and roll again, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Let's not do
We
that
had a
on.
cooler full of blood, so even if you get hungry, we'll do it.
Hit me. Okie dokie. So we're gonna be doing this again. So it was resolve.
rouse first. Let's see if you get hungry.
First, of course.
You might want to munch Braggy Brain after this second one. No one knows.
Concern.
You
Jesus.
are a little hungrier. But go ahead. Your power activates just as it normally would. You're just a little hungrier. Yes, roll your resolve plus your 3 protein dots.
Nice cat.
Meow meow.
It's because I said something. I'm sorry.
She's very demanding. That's what she does.
Yes.
3 and 0. Okay.
Fuck.
Braggy. As you have 3 changes to make, because that is the max amount of changes that you can make. Even though you rolled 5 successes, technically, the 3 is limited because of your protein score. However, in your haste, in whatever next change you do to Braggy's brain, roll a d4, Braggy.
Oh no.
Braggy?
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't know long division anymore.
I'm scared now. Just
I
so
would
we're
be.
all.
Just to be clear.
In high school, you knew a girl. She was your crush all throughout high school. That woman was your wife. You ended up getting married after the fact. And now, who are you married to again?
Son of a bitch. Not Eivor.
The faces of you all are great. It
You know,
might
that
return
seems
with
like
time.
kind of a plus.
There is.
That wasn't your touchstone, was it?
Yep,
Oh no!
could be.
Oh no!
It was.
You
one
So-
just fucked his touchstone. Oh.
So it is fuzzy. You remember that you were married, but it is hard for you to picture the face. It is hard for you to remember the name. Much like when a famous or extraordinarily talented violinist goes under for brain surgery and they have them continue to perform while under surgery to make sure they don't damage that part of their mind. You just got a little bit of a pink, and we'll see how that plays out later.
I would like to say that I rolled better than I ever have on this fucking app, and you're doing this to him.
It's,
Well, not really.
it's
You got
all
messy
the
criticals.
dice. The messy criticals are bad. That's not a
Yeah.
good thing.
That's not. Yeah.
Your beast
Yeah,
fucked
that's
you.
terrible.
not a good roll.
It was not
because
you.
It is your blood dice.
Yeah. So,
The hungry
I don't know
you
if I
are.
like fifth.
being hungry has its problems. So, you have 3 changes to make. So, please, where are we going from here?
So it's leading down into a fold, correct?
It's like it looks like it had been pushed into and is coming out of the top and bottom of one.
So imagine if you had a crumpled up, wet washcloth. And you were to take this ball of washcloth that's crumpled up with a bunch of folds, and you were to kind of gently stretch it out so that all the folds kind of undid. You're asking an opera singer to perform brain surgery? This is not completely my fault.
There's gonna be a lot of smooth brain jokes about Braggy in the future. It'll be fun.
God, the opera singer
Is
offered to do brain surgery. Let's get that clear.
no. She thought it was in his heart. This is not like making a person into a chair, okay? That I've done tons of times. Zamitzi human furniture, it's a thing.
Can we see Maggie's discomfort?
You're
perhaps-
focused on Braggy, probably. Unless you're actively looking back at Maggie.
Well, hear me out. Egret's hiding in the corner, and I'm standing in front of Egret, so I would theoretically have the biggest view of the room. I'm looking at everybody, aren't I?
Roll me Insight Wits. Because she is
Is it a
exceeding on
bonus
these.
because I know her so well?
I will give you a +2 bonus for knowing her so well. But she is meeting the frenzies that she is.
What's my difficulty?
Her 5.
What?
Yeah. You see
All
the twitch in her eye. Subtle, but you recognize it.
I'm very insightful.
You apparently are.
When it comes to Maggie.
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I did get a bonus because it was Maggie. Okay. That's fine. Mercy's just watching her a little bit more closely. Just in case. Maggie would be very
Okay.
upset if she hurt her grandson.
You know, as much shit as Leon gives Braggy, she'd be very upset too. So, fuck all of this. So, in hopes of flattening out his brain, sentences you think you're gonna say, in hopes that it will reveal more of the wires and be able to just gently remove them.
Okay. In doing so, you do manage to unfold that portion in a way that it pulls it out enough that this little pill-sized golden device drops down and starts to hang limply. Braggy, you see out of the corner of one of your eyes just this little dangly gold thing. It's
You're doing
weird.
good, buddy. You're doing
Yeah,
great.
you're doing really
doing
well.
great.
Surprisingly so.
All right. So as the person who's going to try and remove this,
Yeah.
am I? At what juncture do I go? I think I can do this.
Currently, are you what are you focusing on to remove? There are 3 of the 4 components of this apparatus exposed.
Okay, so I'm ignoring the heart. We're just focusing on the brain at the moment.
Okay.
So the wires leading to the device on his head, right? On his brain.
The wiring itself of this device goes down, and you can make the reasonable assumption that it connects to whatever is in near the carotid as well.
Okay. Well, let's try and save his brain first. Could I disconnect the wires from the device on his brain?
If you roll me, tech, obviously. But I'm gonna say composure, and you can add your dots of medicine.
All my 0 dots.
All whatever you've got, which is probably 0. Yeah, sorry. If you were a surgeon beforehand, this could have played out.
Yeah.
But you weren't.
I'm not. It's fine. I'd still. My dots are still not terrible. All right, what's my difficulty?
You are Are you disconnecting the wires to the pill-shaped device? That is what you're attempting to do.
Here, let me see if I can do it a different way.
Okay.
As opposed to just disconnecting, could I run a bypass? So it basically makes it easier, and it seems like something's still attached, just in case.
That's smart.
That way, if
So
there's
it's still cooking.
so they think it's still attached and cooking.
In that
And
case,
then disconnect.
before your tech composure roll for adding this bypass, give me a tech intelligence roll to see if you can discern how it works a little bit better.
Okay.
A difficulty of 3 because it is exposed.
All right.
Yep. Crit.
Regular crit.
Legit crit.
Nice.
With that, absolutely. You understand how these electrons are flowing. You understand what it's doing, how it's doing it to some extent, without cracking it open completely, but enough that you could perform a successful bypass of this electronic device.
Okay. I'm not going to explain anything about what I'm doing.
Don't have to.
That is wise.
And then I'm going to try and create the bypass and then disconnect.
Okay. That is, again, technology, composure, and if you had dots in medicine, you could have used them as well.
I do not.
But what a kind and benevolent God.
The difficulty is 3.
Okay.
Dicey. Dicey. But it is accomplished, and the gold pill-shaped device is removed, still intact in what you know to be a working order from your understanding of it.
Okay. All right. All right. So it's disconnected from the wires itself. Now I need to go into the carotid, try and get to that.
Leon has 2 more changes with this performance of flesh crafting.
You are muted. Sorry.
Zechariah, did you said?
Yeah, that is where the device connected to. Bragi, I got the thing out of your brain. We're working on the thing in your neck. So far, so good.
Because you brought
Halfway
it to
there,
his
man.
attention, I'm going to need Bragi to give me another frenzy check.
Stop telling him what's happening.
Again, with the bonuses that you were given before, because you were still being supernaturally calmed by Antonius.
What was the bonuses I was given before?
2?
Two?
I think it was 2. We're going to say it's 2.
For difficulty?
The difficulty is...
Oh, that's what you want. You made the difficulty 1. You just lowered
Did I
the
make
difficulty.
the difficulty 1?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. It would be a difficulty of 3, but you're reducing it by 2. Yes, 1. You have to achieve 1 on a frenzy. Check. You're good.
Nice.
Real good.
Real good. Still happy.
Right.
Still feeling nice. Weird. You can see both sides of this room independently, but you're good.
All right.
It's like being on acid, it's just cool.
It is a really trippy experience. If you ever had done acid in your human life, it's not far off.
So in that case, you are welcome.
No.
So Leon is going to take both of her nails, just kind of put them together, and have you ever taken a reed along the stem and kind of just opened it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this kind of seems like. Just a small incision with the nail.
Poor Egret. Just the faces.
And then just seeing it kind of unfurl.
Okay. Here, Roland, one of the things that you notice first is this appears to be where the power source is. That was powering the thing that you bypassed with another power source.
Awesome.
Now, the other thing that is noticed here, Antonius, you're on this side, we're going to say. Give me
Mhm.
awareness wits.
Oh, goody. Neat. Okay. Boop. I assume. No bonuses.
Difficulty is you're good.
Okay.
There is an explosive device here.
Bomb.
It's small, it's localized. It looks like it wouldn't do enough damage to destroy the room or anything, but it could pop Braggy's head probably pretty good.
Real little bomb.
All right.
He might survive it, but who wants to take the chance?
Yeah, let's get that out of him. All right.
So this is going to be a little interesting. Because there's not like an explosives disarm. I gotta stop looking at the Discord.
Oh no! What did I? Oh god! It's beautiful.
Mizui, no.
The check that will be required for this. What is Roland's experience with explosives?
Minimal at best.
Minimal at best.
Yeah, shit.
Antonius, I know that you have
Shit! I
experience
knew
with
this
explosives.
was gonna happen.
I will allow you to provide your dots in. I will allow you to provide your intelligence dots to Roland's roll of tech composure.
So explain to
You'll
me
be-
what I need. Explain to me
Okay.
what I need to do here.
So the colors of the wires don't matter. He'll go into just like gobbledygook a brief thing. Short version is add 2 to your roll.
Okay.
this and this and this. It'll be a bypass just like you just did,
Mhm.
except you don't want the current to go here.
Okay.
And this tech composure roll to disarm this device and remove it is a difficulty of 5.
Sending you my energy.
Important question.
Spirit
Sending you
bomb.
my
Is
energy.
this a roll he'll be able to re-roll, or is this an instant?
This is a roll
Cast
he
fail.
could willpower reroll
Willpower.
if needed.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You said plus how much?
2, add 2.
Okay. All right.
It's amazing what I can do to just saying a few words with a stupid
fun, isn't
idea
it?
that I had at the beginning of this game. You
willpower
are
reroll.
okay.
Roll power.
You can reroll up to 3 of those
Yeah.
because, well, actually, you can reroll if you wanted to burn more. You could go for more successes, but you only need 1. So you could do 3 at least.
And I just need 1 success.
Correct.
As Leon is working, you just hear,
You got
her
it.
go, oh, helical.
There is a
Which
moment.
is for beans.
French for beans.
There is a moment when Antonius, you're looking and you're kind of assisting Roland.
Wait. Shit.
Yeah.
Doc?
There's that. There's a click, and then you're like, ah! And so, however, with a total of 6 successes, you successfully disarm the device. Leon, you have 1 additional change that you can make. Right now, Braggy is looking a bit like a kindergartner's Play-Doh sculpture. So,
Remember in the second Terminator when they hit him with the grenade launcher? He did
a little bit.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
And you're still alive and conscious.
Yeah, you're feeling all of this weirdness.
Fuck.
If you were
Dimitri,
fighting it,
fuck
it'd
it
be
up.
a lot harder.
Think of it this way: you're gonna come up with the lyrics to a killer fucking song after this, man.
I don't even know.
Hey.
Good luck.
His genre, yeah.
Cut
You
my
are
life
so
to
lucky.
pieces. No.
You were lucky that Leon doesn't have the sense of humor of Robin Williams.
Oh my god, I'd be dead right now.
She
Yes,
doesn't.
you would.
No, that's the worst part. You wouldn't be.
She doesn't, but Lucy kind of does.
Yeah.
From his carotid artery, you hear.
So,
Oh no, it seems I'm falling apart at the seams.
you've removed 2 of what you presume are the most dangerous components involved in this apparatus. The other 2 look to have been already utilized and non-functioning anymore. There are also several changes that you need to fix.
And all the king's horses and all the king.
Roland will pull back and go, I think the other devices are benign. I don't.
Discord is terrible right now
Yeah,
for our
yeah.
Twitch audience. It's real bad.
I think the other devices are benign. I mean, I can take them out, but
Oh my god. I should
You
have just...
broke Lucy.
I should
Am I the only one thinking of a hot dog in a microwave?
yes.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes,
Anyway,
it's the word.
try to be serious. Trying.
Oh my!
Fortunately, none of this laughter and goofiness is canonically in the game. Braggy, this is very
It could be.
somber and
Very
serious moment.
Clunk clunk. Oh, I dropped my watch.
I want a hot dog real bad.
So,
Make me want a hot dog real
Okay.
bad.
so did we get Braggy from like people IKEA? Because there's a few extra parts.
No.
There
Oh,
are
wow.
a few extra parts.
Okay, but you want to take him out? It's probably going to be less invasive or less problematic to either way.
Is it possible just to scoop the rest out?
I mean, we'd have to work around the heart.
You look like the 4th of July. Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Anyway, but
I've met her in person, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm
she-
jealous.
I worked at the Presidential Museum, and she came in one time, and I was part of the team that escorted her around.
Fancy.
Anyway,
Could I suggest we start with care, because obviously Braggy is aware of what's going on. Since he's laying down and she's mostly out of her sight, she'll just be like,
put his head back together.
yes, Roland, thank you.
It's getting closer every time, and I don't like it.
Look, Leon, can we put his head back together, please?
I do not know. And she just kind of glances over at the prince, like, he could make a wonderful fainting couch.
That's her grandchild. Let's not make jokes. If you want to live, I mean,
If you're done,
Ooh, uh-oh. Displeasure. Bad.
the prince, when you turn and say that, looks at you. She's been looking kind of down at her hands as you turn back, and she looks back up to you and says, "It would behoove you to put him back the exact way that you found him."
But of course, I'm sorry, bad joke. And with the next move, she is going to first slowly refurl his carotid.
Okay. Carotid refurled. Were you going to remove the other devices?
I can, yeah.
While he is removing the other devices, Leon is going to go get a snack.
they are not far.
Yep.
Leon is going to require someone to go bring her a person.
Oh.
Oh?
I can't have bags.
A lot of us can't have bags.
Yeah.
You are wildly inconvenient. You bagless kindred. Not you in
Pardon. I am helping remove explosives from your son.
And you offered to make him into a couch. So consider it even.
I was trying to ease the tension. I apologize, Professor.
Maggie, where could I find? And she'll just cut you off. In fact, Maggie,
The
where can I find-
moment that you mention, you say to Maggie, "Where can I?" the chair screeches back on the floor, leaving noticeable gouges in the wood.
Mhm.
And the prince walks over very calmly. And
Oh my!
she will go looking to you, Leon, and say, "Please go find yourself a meal. We wouldn't want you creating any mistakes. I'll finish up here." And as she says that, she reaches out to Braggy's gray matter, starting there, and molds it back the way it was. When another success, she recloses his brain. Roland, she now waits for you to remove the two devices in his ribcage before proceeding.
Technology.
Technology, composure, and medicine dice if you had them, but you don't.
Now that Magdalena is so close, I really feel like I should activate Fortitude just to be safe. That's how I feel right now, just to let you know. I'm just thinking about it. He didn't do it yet, but I'm just like, whoa.
Oh, actually,
Difficulty?
given this and Merce, go ahead.
To
Sorry.
remove these, to remove both of these, it's going to be a difficulty of 2.
Given that Mercy
Oh,
has
shit.
already
Uh-huh.
wow.
It
Now you
succeeded.
comfort.
But...
Still activate fleetness, just in
Okay.
case.
You have activated Fleetness. This is noted. You are a little hungrier for doing so. Roland, which device are you going for first? The blood bags with pump or the
The blood
hard-
bags would pump first.
Okay. Blood bags with pump, easily removed, disconnected from the device that is attached to the heart.
All right. Then we'll work on the heart. The heart's a little more delicate.
Roland, would you require more space? Or is this adequate?
No, I think I'm okay. Just a little. Not my area of expertise, but I'm trying.
You're doing wonderfully. Very flat
Alright.
tone for all of you that can hear her.
Yep. All right. Let's
Tech composure, difficulty deuce.
let's get this last one out so we can get him back to where he's supposed to be.
Man, I hate that you can post a GIF that really goes like, I really want some gum right now.
Okay. This is a much easier procedure. This kind of opaque, semi-translucent encasement around his heart that has the 5 or so needles that you can see seems to kind of like twist to unlock, and then you pull it apart. As you do so, you notice that Braggy's healing takes into effect, and the small holes that were in the various chambers of Braggy's heart immediately seal up. They begin to heal on their own. It does not seem to have
That
imposed
was
any
preventing it?
sort of... It was in a way. Perhaps a vicissitude change of some kind. That's how it got in here. It doesn't seem to be hindering him anymore, and as you kind of pull it out, again on the back of this device, as you're rotating it around, you see AU Tech Incorporated.
Okay. I kind of want to, if I was trying to be funny, I'd put "Saved by Roland" sticker on his heart. But
Before you
We
could
won't.
even do so, you see
No,
the
he
bone,
doesn't have
the
the
flesh, the bits of sinew and things reforming. Braggy, you feel yourself becoming whole once more as the prince finishes patching you up, and you look remarkably similar, though you might have a mole in a different spot, but that's neither here nor there.
So, see jokes after he.
For the most part, you find
Mole in a
yourself...
different spot. Wife gone.
Yeah, just casual changes.
Yeah.
Tony will like pull on his arm and like help him sit up.
Okay. Good. Physical coordination test.
Braggy
He'll
just
actively go over, grab one of the extra blood bags, and like try and toss it to him.
Braggy I hope catches it.
Roll me dexterity athletics.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Come on.
No difficulty. Put a 0 down there. I'm not going to tell you.
Hang on.
Just yet.
It's a softball. It's easy. It should be easy.
A little lob.
That's 2.
You reach up, grab it, maybe a little harder with that crit on the blood die, but not full bestial failure mode. You are able to coordinate yourself as well as you could before. No noticeable differences there.
Right,
Additionally, Braggy, roll me
Oh, fuck.
a
Fuck.
roll me your composure and add Add how many dots of humanity that you have to it.
Oh.
The difficulty is 5.
Oh.
You said so just composure plus.
Plus however many dots you have in humanity. So however many of that humanity tracker down next to your hunger is full of red, add that to it.
What if there's more? Hang on, I gotta look at this again.
It might actually only let you add up to 5 with this.
Yeah, it
new
only lets me
sheet.
add up to 5.
How many do you have total?
Right now, 7.
Okay, so go ahead and roll it with the plus 5.
And you said difficulty of 5?
Difficulty is 5. You are
Damn.
good. You don't need to even roll the additional 2 points that you had there. But as you are patched up with in a relatively short time, that fogginess that you were experiencing in your mind, you blink a couple times, it feels weird, your head being patched up. But you begin to remember your wife's name. You remember how you met. You remember the story of you falling in love. And that memory comes back to you in its entirety. So for the intents and purposes of this moment in time, you are whole again. Maybe more so now that all of this tech has been removed from you, this foreign corruption that was placed in you without your knowledge, that has been hindering you and your coterie ever since the night they found you, is now sprawled out on this wooden table. And that's where we're going to go to break.
Fuck!
Damn it. All right.
So, with that, 5 to 10 minutes, take a pee, get a drink, whatever you need to do. We'll be
I'm gonna
back.
need another drink after that.
Right?
Yeah, right?
and I heard that wonderful sound that all cat owners know. So
Yes. We were
Yep,
just
we think-
discussing that that's what it was.
Yep.
And not missing it.
No,
Many of them.
not at all. So with that, welcome back, everybody. We are returning from the break and a little bit of a just a surgery party that we were having in a nightclub basement
Normal
room.
things. In a wine cellar, really, kind of.
Everybody loves a Zamitzi party because a Zamitzi party has body horror.
Yeah.
I've changed my mind. I would like to place the listening device next to a television playing Grey's Anatomy.
There we go.
Ooh.
So,
Trying to save a life.
with that, the I believe that let's go through the room. Braggy, you've been put back together by the prince, who is to one of you exhibiting signs of frustration, we'll say, and there is this moment of calm when everything is done. You all look to the table briefly at this device that Roland has removed, disarmed in some cases, and laid out. What is everybody doing?
Tony's gonna lean over to Roland and go, "Is it still transmitting?"
I didn't
Quiet.
stop it. I didn't stop it.
Mercy
I
is
just
going
removed it.
to grab a cup off of the wall in that little bar in the back and put it over top of the listening device to help muffle some of the noise.
Start.
Leon is kind of back to the far wall, looking
Did she go
down.
feed?
What?
Did she go feed or has she not left?
No.
Okay.
She hasn't said a word. She's very quiet. She's very kind of just to herself. Her ghouls seem to be trying to comfort her, but she doesn't seem to be responding.
Ygritte will go. I don't know if it's so much a listening device. Remember, Stone said it was. It seemed more like it was a hacking device. Either way, I say smash it with a hammer.
Or play it Kids Bop. I mean, if it can hear, we might as well make it not worth their efforts, right?
If anyone had the ability to talk to animals, I would say let's put it on like a mouse or something and send it running through the sewers.
Hmm.
Send him on a merry chase.
Coincidentally, I wish I could do that, but instead, I just got opened up and had a bunch of random shit that I didn't know about pulled from my body. And Braggy looks to see. You said earlier, storyteller, that Braggy saw the AU Tech Incorporated logos.
Yes. Well, not so much you saw it. You did hear Antonia say the name out loud, and you recall that is the company that had hired you in your kind of freelance tech work, and that's who you were working for during the period of time before and technically during when you were taken and killed and turned.
Not to mention, in that pile of bodies he woke up next to were some of his coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch. Braggy looks to the devices and says, I know that company well. I worked for them when I was alive. I really hope we get to investigate this lead a little further.
I think I'm going to concur there. Do you know if there are any specific night managers?
I suppose.
Braggy, you would recall that the way that AU Tech Incorporated reached out to you was via some, job boards, that sort of thing, asking you to perform some freelance tasks for them, various coding duties. The projects that they had you working on were they didn't seem to make a lot of sense. And you recall maybe reaching out to one of the colleagues that you had worked with at a different company before and having them explain to you what they were working on. It seemed like their project was also kind of a piece of a larger whole, perhaps. And none of you got like the full picture. It was very clandestine in nature. But you managed to complete the task that was provided to you, and it was 2 nights after you submitted that job that you were walking through that cemetery.
Braggy looks to himself as he remembers this and says, more pieces are coming together to this puzzle.
Nope.
2 days before this new unlife, I had just finished working on a piece of a project, or at least what I think is a piece of a project. A colleague of mine was working on something else, and it didn't quite add up at first, but I think there was a bigger plan at play with all these different pieces of the projects going on.
So you're saying that you think this AU Tech was not probably the organization behind it, but hey, who's good at figuring out what's the back tracing shell companies? Because that's what we're gonna need.
Yeah, well,
Arguably.
You know.
we'll see what we can do. On that note, Egret, you want to hand me the bag?
So
Yeah.
hands him.
It's about It's about 1 gen old, but here you go, Braggy.
Thank you, Roland.
Laptop for you.
I appreciate it. I will pay you back when I'm able.
He was sitting around.
I have a question about these little sacks. You think we can see what kind of blood was inside them?
Yep.
Any residue?
Residue. Was it human or was it kindred?
Almost certainly not human.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly my concern.
Though you
Perhaps.
are vampiric in nature, you can tell that the blood, from the residue alone, you can tell that it was not mortal blood that was in those bags.
Okay, I find this very concerning.
But beyond certain blood abilities, that is about the extent of the information that you get.
Mercy, I think your theory is probably the same as my theory. What we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is what an artificial blood bond looks like.
Yes, I think that is exactly what we're looking at.
The Claymore?
Mm-hmm.
Could be. He did resist her call earlier, but she did try, thinking that it would work.
Well, did she call? Well, I suppose it's hard to tell. It wasn't directed at me, but it seemed merely an offer she made, not necessarily a call. I've seen a call, and there is there's something to that. It's more than what it seemed she was.
How many little blood baggies were there attached to him? Like 5?
Yes.
That's full.
Oh.
That's past full.
Or it could have been
1 from each.
Well, yeah, the 6.
It could have been a fucking Voldery.
And Crusher would still be in Europe at that time, from what Stone told us.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the other 5, 6 that would be here.
So he's bonded to them all.
Now, my understanding is that a stronger bond could supersede a weaker bond.
Here's a
You're
question.
not wrong.
Question. I've never truly been bonded to someone else, so I'm not 100% sure how it works. Could he feel them? Could we use Brocky as like a basset hound?
I'm sorry, I have to time us out here for a second. So very recently, obviously this is out of character. Very recently, off of the screen, Mercy went to Maggie and drank of Maggie. Is there any difference in Mercy's feelings right now? Would that, obviously I read her just fine without that. Would that have given me a better read on her, and would I have a better answer to Roland's question because of our recent thing?
For you, because of an ability that you possess, no.
Sure. Okay. Never mind. I don't know anything. Please continue. Unpause.
Though your thought could be valuable to other people in this room.
Oh, God. Okay, fine. So Mercy will say, it occurs to me that and Maggie's still here, correct?
Yes.
It occurs to me that I don't, and she'll like blush almost. You can see the moment where she's expecting to blush. She laughs a little awkwardly and say, I don't feel any sort of radar tracking to Maggie. I don't think that is, I wouldn't imagine that's part of a blood bond.
I believe, Mercy, at one point in time you mentioned that you have problems making bonds.
I don't believe Mercy has ever mentioned anything of the sort quite intentionally.
I believe you mentioned it the first time with Maggie. You said something of that nature.
Mercy has never said it. Mercy has very intentionally never said anything in character about
maybe
her.
Because I thought I heard that. All right, I apologize. Take it back.
No, it's okay. Yeah, no, that's something that I've been very careful about in character.
Okay.
But no, and I once learned an important lesson about the strength of blood when I accidentally bound one of our compatriots to myself. It's truly an accident. Please understand that I didn't know that feeding a vampire in torpor my blood to speed his healing was not a good choice, and I've learned since then.
But you had something to say, Six?
I do. Back when I was a ghoul, and I fed from Tony enough that after so long, I was able to sense, like, his emotions. And
Yeah, I have that too with Roland.
Yeah.
It's really vague most of the time, but it's definitely not like a homing device or anything. But
But it's like you have to be within a certain, like, I guess, distance, maybe? You could sense them? I don't...
Well, that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's...
Braggy, if you
I can't
feel
really
like...
describe it.
Maybe you could describe to Braggy how it feels, so he can, if he feels that feeling, then he knows one of them is near.
But
so maybe we won't be surprised again.
What sort of range are we talking about, though? Are we talking in the same room?
I'm actually trying to look up that thing in the book because I know I had it on Six's like sheet back then.
Gotcha.
It's something like 100 feet or something like that per level. If I'm not mistaken, it's blood empathy. Let's see.
Might have.
So we're thinking football
Okay, yeah,
field
yeah.
at most.
Aha. 1 mile or less.
1 mile or less. Like they can. What?
That would make sense because they would want to seek them out, right? That is an issue of the bond, is wanting to seek out the person.
Now, can the out of character? Can the vampire sense their
Nope. It's a one-way deal.
Okay, so their underling can sense them.
So in theory, depending, Braggy, if this is a functional theory, Braggy could do the sensing, but the others that he is bonded to would not get that back in return. They wouldn't be able to track him down mystically that way.
So, in theory, we could use him like a bloodhound. We drive him around the city until he feels something.
Sketchy.
Yeah, but we could, in theory, we could do it.
Well, in theory, they could also then use this against us. And I don't particularly know what, obviously, with no experience of my own, not truly, then I don't know how much control there is from a kindred in the bond to their bound, but would it not be better to eliminate this bond?
Honestly, yeah. That would probably be order of business. But also, we have to understand that Mercy, you've blood bonded someone before. How'd you feel about that afterwards? Wasn't great, right?
Yeah, it's not ideal, certainly.
It is actively making a person lose some of their free will. It's a corruption. And this kind of stuff shouldn't be done at all unless, and that's a very big unless, that person is cool with it. Like, very cool with it. Very cool with knowing that they are being made to be supernaturally loyal to someone. Like, I don't know, suggesting that Braggy be bloodbound to our prince to ensure that his loyalty wouldn't go to someone who he doesn't choose. But that, while it is a strategic suggestion in my head, is not my call. That is specifically only going to be something that Braggy would be allowed to make that call for, if I have anything to say about it.
I agree. It would take much more information and explanation of consequences to Braggy first. Although, if Maggie is not interested in a supernaturally bound grandson.
How's Maggie looking?
Maggie's looking a little rough.
At this moment, you hear Magdalena let out a loud, noticeable sigh. All of what you're talking about is based on hearsay and cockamamie theory. Either you put your plan into action, or you think of another one. You, and she specifically points to Leon, stop moping about. You did fine. However, next time, perhaps, when you're meddling about in the brains of those whom I consider dear to me, you take a little more care. Do we understand each other?
Yes, Prince. I will.
Now go find something to eat. I need you to be on your best. As for the rest of you, the same goes for you. If you're hungry, find something to eat here before you go. But for my part, the decision of being bound to one by blood is one that I will leave up to Braggy. And then she will look to you, Braggy. A visible frustration on her face. Something is bothering her, but beyond that, you can see her irritant. I know that I have told you that I will look after you, and I will do what's best for you, and that you belong here with us on the Camarilla side. You confided in me that you had no feelings of that camaraderie with Claymore. Is this correct?
That is correct, Prince.
Then I would assume that it was not the mixing of bloods that was performed. I would assume, however, that it was not Claymore's blood that he was fed. It is rather possible that it is the person who implanted this device within him.
I think his name. Well, we have another name. Was it Arrow?
Aurelius.
Yeah.
Aurelius. Yes.
Yeah, like the Roman.
Of course.
This is a name that I am not familiar with.
New entry. So, Braggy. Sorry, man. You've been blood bonded to someone you've never met. And when they pop up, there's a good chance that they are going to feel like your absolute best friend. And that's going to suck. As far as I can see, we got one of two options. We either just let that ride and leave you right like you are, and that's another bomb that's going to go off later if you encounter this person. Or we try and get you a stronger blood bond with somebody else that'll override it.
I would offer myself for this. We've already decided that you are in my care. It would be natural for a new kindred to be bound more tightly to their sire. But it is your choice. And perhaps, I don't know if anyone else here is willing to offer you such a thing, but I know, or it is my understanding, rather, that this bond is a two-way street, and I don't know that anyone else here is willing to take on such a thing. I am reluctant to take it on. I am loath to take more of your freedom. I like I said, I've already tried to give you much, but
We had spoken before about a ritual known to me and my sire. There should be enough between your small family you have acquired to perform it. You would all be essentially bound together, and it would completely erase the blood bond that has been forced upon the new kinder.
are you sure it's powerful enough? I mean, to
Oh, it is.
okay. I know nothing of it, so I will have to take your word.
If the prince is willing, of course.
I am willing to provide you with blood of mine to stave off your bond. However, before that happens, I'm going to need some time. Unless one of you would like to volunteer, I'm rather ravished.
If only I could pick up an instrument in my free time.
Perhaps one of the smarter things that you've done recently. Not learning an instrument, that is.
I'm sure the last times you and I have done that is not. It has been with reluctance and in dire need. I'm sure there are ones above that could easily work better than us.
Potentially, yes. However, it is also my understanding that a bond takes time, takes days.
Does.
The
least
process
3.
could not be completed this evening.
Is this true of this ritual? It is the same?
What's the prince? I'm sorry, could you repeat what was just said?
Does it
brain.
take time for your ritual to override or to form a bond rather than where the bond takes a couple of days, is the ritual quicker? Essentially the question posed.
Out of game, my understanding is it's pretty instant.
If we're talking about the Valkyrie, yeah, it is.
Yeah. The Valkyrie will take moments to take hold.
Goodness, a bad ritual was not on my bingo card tonight. But Neely was assisting in surgery.
To be clear, is this just him drinking, or is it all of us?
I would recommend it just being him.
Okay.
It could be as many or as few as you want.
So we all bleed into a bowl together, and Braggy drinks, and suddenly he is loyal to us and not whatever the weird implantation thing was.
A few more steps, waving around of a few words, but essentially, yes.
Seems
How did you
like-
come to know of this ritual?
It is quite well known with this about, especially the Zmitzi.
Okay.
Things the Camarilla does not find palatable.
I hate to say this, but honestly, it might be the fastest and most efficient solution, even if it is deeply removed from traditions on this side of the fence.
Traditions are what the people make of it. Very few things are truly good or bad.
If the prince is alright with it, I'll bleed for this.
I'll offer my share.
Here's the question. Is this what you want, Broggy?
It's the most important question.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. I do this. I'm free of this Aurelius or whoever put these devices in me.
If that is even who you are bound to, if you are even bound.
He's probably bound, but that's fair. Could be something else. But you're removing your bond from them and creating one to us.
It's the kindred that I inadvertently bound to. Was perhaps not entirely sane. And certainly held demons within his mental landscape. But when he became bound to me, he was infatuated. He found that he was. He called me the name of someone from his past. He was like a duckling chasing after its mother. It was unfortunate that I had done this, especially without his knowledge or consent, and it was not a normal bond of loyalty or friendship or shared objective. It very again, I think the best way to explain it was as though I suddenly had a duckling of my own. I don't know if this would be the same. I don't know what degree of connection it would create. And I don't want you to make this decision lightly. Because it was not simple as we are discussing it without the emotional and mental strain that it may cause.
Well, in that case, why don't we? Why doesn't Braggy hear from the people who have felt it directly? Megrit
Yes.
6. Tell him what it's like. From your perspective, not ours.
My connection is slightly different because of Roland's powers. But I definitely, a lot of the time, especially right after the monthly thing, it's pretty awkward about talking about it. This isn't just me like fumbling over my words. My experience definitely isn't as severe as what Mercy is describing. I definitely can feel Roland's emotions unless he's like really actively trying to hide them. It's kind of like when you watch TV and you get like secondhand embarrassment. You know, where you know it's not your own emotion, but you can definitely still feel it. My biggest concern a lot of the time is how can I help him? How can I don't want to say serve because he's definitely not created that type of relationship. But there's definitely a feeling beholden to him. Like I always feel like I owe him something.
I need about tree fitting.
God damn it, Loch Ness Monster. Egert, were you aware of what he was when you bonded with him?
No.
I thought I was signing just a business contract, to be fair.
Hmm. So it kind of started off with deception. In your case.
No, it started out with infatuation.
Oh. Hmm.
Here's
That's
a
why
better.
I say my bond is a little bit different because it's a Toreador. Look at him. He's just got that charisma.
My introduction to the blood bond was not pleasant. Most of you know what I was before I became Tony's ghoul. I worked for the Inquisition. I was a hunter. To begin with, the blood bond was a means to force loyalty. And then over time, after a lot of harsh lessons, I should say, I took the bond willingly. It does take several steps. It starts off slow. It's like a build-up, gradual. You could hate the creature that you're bonded to, loathe them with every fiber of your being. And the blood bond can force you to turn it into a sort of, I guess, affection. Some sort of respect, maybe. But if you were to ask me if I regret it now, and I don't think I would do. I didn't get the choice to be bonded, but at least in this situation, Braggy does. With us.
And Tony says nothing this whole time. He's just quiet, letting her talk her way.
You hear from a corner of the room that was previously not really a big deal. You didn't really notice anything out of the corner of that room. The corner in this room, rather. Apologies for my speaking. You know, the Votary will only break the previous blood bond unless you continue to do it. Otherwise... no, scratch that. The first Votary will completely remove any previous bonds. If you don't keep doing it, it will not keep its punch.
So, Braggy, you'd be real loyal to us for what? Month? 3?
Once a month?
and you'd be free of whatever you got now.
Just as a matter of housekeeping, when Fee appears out of nowhere, just sort of out of the instinct of what's been going on lately, Fee, God, Mercy will just basically appear between Fee and Braggy with her fleetness that she activated.
Yep. Fair.
Because, you know, there's been lots of things appearing out of shadows lately, and she's not really a fan. When she notices.
To reinforce your point of housekeeping, there were no shadows. Fee is just there.
Yeah, that's worse.
Like
that's
she has
worse.
been there the whole time, but you just didn't notice.
That's worse, but she'll still just, you know, like, oh, there's now a thing there, and Braggy has been in danger many times, and he is here, and now Mercy is between them.
Okay, fair.
And she'll, when she, assuming that this is noticed, she'll sort of nod her head, apologize with her body, as she, you know, reacts in a way that's perhaps not polite, but will say nothing about it.
Fee kind of waves it off a little bit. She doesn't seem to take any offense.
Great.
My apologies. It's too late.
Braggy thinks to himself after hearing the testimony about the blood bonds and hearing this new information, and he says, he kind of tilts his head and goes, let's do this thing, because I don't feel like being anyone's puppet if they're an enemy of ours.
So for the purposes of this, should you continue to go down this path of performing the Vauldery and bonding through the process known as vincula, it will sever all previous bonds. That information has been given to you. As for your affection toward your coterie mates, unless this is performed a few more times, it's not going to be super strong. You're still going to have free will. You're going to be able to tell them no. You might feel more favorably towards their opinions, that sort of thing, mechanically. But there's not going to be any overriding of your character's actions. They cannot tell you, go do A. Well, Mercy technically could as your surrogate sire, but that's beside the point in a totally different sort of relationship. But based on this blood bond, you will not be able to be forced through this bond. You will feel favorably towards them. You will like them a little bit more. Absolutely.
I think as far as it would go mechanically is if, like, say, Tony tried to dominate him again, I'd have like an extra die bonus or something like
that. It could mechanically affect that, sway
that. So the way I was that it, like, you have to drink 3 times for, you know, its full effect.
Right.
On 3 different nights.
The Viculum can do 2 things. I think it's longer. Like, it's 3 months before it fades away.
The bond among pack members, called vincula, and is usually weaker than normal blood bonds, can become stronger over time, rendering pack mates unable to betray each other, though sometimes certain members are excluded from contributing their vitae, but must imbibe the Vauldery anyway. So they are bonded to everyone, but no one is bonded to them. So it is technically, mechanically speaking, according to the Octorus Rite, which is the newest Sabbat-esque shit that is out right now, it's considered lesser than a normal blood bond, unless performed over and over again.
So it's different than it was.
Yes.
Because it used to be you
instant
take it and you rolled, and it's like, oh, it could be a 1 through 10, and if it's 10, congratulations, you're fucking in love.
Yeah, that
blood
chart
bonds don't work like that. That's silly.
Well, and it also you had to factor in the potencies and things of the kindred involved in the ritual and that sort of stuff. They've kind of gotten away with that, or from that chart to now it is like a severing but start of new blood bond. It is an instant override, but not overpoweringly so.
All right.
Perfect.
It's not relevant right now. I'm gonna type it down for later.
So, actually, Tony will briefly go over to Leon and say, well, first off, I want to thank you for doing this far. But I want to make you a small offer, Leon. If you would be so good as to conduct this ritual, as you have the most knowledge of it, and he leans forward, I'll tell you something about your sire that she doesn't want you to know.
You're saying this to Fee?
No, Leon.
Okay, that makes way more sense. I'm so sorry.
He's
No.
like, fuck that guy. I don't like that guy.
Oh, sure. I was planning on doing it anyway, but hey, if you're offering.
I was planning on telling you anyways, but this just seems more fun. You'll have earned
All
it.
right. I don't actually know how the ritual goes.
So, for the purposes of the ritual, we will say that you are familiar with it as Zana would have taught you some aspects of it as part of your kind of teachings on the Samishi. You will need a chalice for everyone to put a rouse check's worth of blood in who is participating.
Somebody.
And we will say, I'm going to, this is off seat of my pants kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to require at least 4 of you to perform this ritual. Whichever 4 that may be is entirely your choice.
It is.
Okay.
And I'm assuming this is a kindred only thing.
Correct. Ghoul blood, unfortunately, does not pack the same oomph. You could throw yours in there if you wanted to. As long as there's
I would
4
assume-
You should.
The seasoning.
Yeah.
I would assume that he wouldn't want me in that chalice, so that's why I'm not.
Interesting. So that's a good point. We have people who are willing who you might not want to take part. Really quickly would Maggie said she's willing, she just needs to feed.
Maggie will say, unless it is required that you need an additional person, I will not, because I don't. She would want to not. Maggie's big on free will in a lot of regards, pretty consistently throughout her story. And so in that regard, she would be reluctant to do so unless it is required to help him shirk the the bonds of another. So that's where we'll go with that.
Okay.
Then Roland will actually say that. I'd assume that he would not want me involved in that, as due to our interactions in the past.
Braggy looks to Roland and says, our past interactions have everything to do with what's between us should be between us. As far as I'm concerned, I have no qualms about you assisting in this endeavor, because this will help us take on a bigger threat with a little more ease.
I would think you would want to be bonded to me.
I'm quickly learning that I am impulsive, and I am still learning, and I have a lot of ground to cover in that regard. I'm willing to let bygones be bygones if you are.
At that moment in time, when this is said, Maggie goes, "Oh, humility. At least one of my children has it."
Mercy
There's a
Will.
quiet.
Will
No,
turn
no quiet.
her smile so beautiful and large, and
Why
look
is it
her face.
spicy?
Vigrid is again looking at the wood grain of the chair very intently.
At this moment in time, Fee looks to Maggie and goes, "Ma'am, we have that midnight appointment." And Maggie will go, "Ah, yes. I must leave you. I assume that you can handle what remains." Tony.
Of course.
And she will nod to you. And she will see herself out. Both her and Fee exit. Fee now
Thank
in
you for your
full
assistance
view.
this evening.
She will not remark on that. She's in a way right now.
Okay.
That's fair.
Do you think it's a blonde? Wait, no, that's not right. Do you think it's a singer or a guitar player?
I'm gonna probably go with yes.
I don't know. I
Drummer.
feel like there's a special place in her heart for a good bassist.
See, I was thinking bases too, honestly.
It's that rumbling sound.
It's because they strum the same two notes all night.
I hope you fuckers know she's got really good hearing. Listen to this, okay?
I'm just glad she
Mercy-
doesn't know that I used to be a country star.
Mercy, give me a.
Leon looks over at you.
Give me an intelligence and insight.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Who is this?
Me.
Mercy.
Mm.
Do I get any bonuses for this?
I'll give you +2 actually because you are involved in the club's bookings and things.
Sure. And do I have a difficulty?
A difficulty of 2. Wow, close. You recall the bands that are scheduled to play at Nova tonight, and you know that there is one that has 5 members, and they are currently in the master suites right now.
Of course they are.
I see.
She's gonna run the train on them.
Both inaccurate and more accurate than anyone in this room would like to acknowledge.
She's gonna sing something into them tonight. Oh God, I'm sorry. Roland started it.
No. Mercy, go on.
For sure, Roland generally starts it.
Fair.
All right. Well,
So we all rouse then?
we're all doing it.
We have
The 4
there's a
of
wine
you that
glass.
are- yeah, there. We will say that there is a chalice equivalent. Leon, you are recalling this information from your teachers.
Oh,
Shit. Oh no.
Everyone except Leon.
Do I also have to make a rouse check, or since I'm the
no.
one?
No.
No.
If anything, you're getting blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are about to drop your hunger.
Yeah, you are.
Technically, all different clans too.
Yeah, no, I was also going to rule that in this downtime for this week, should you choose to spend experience on out-of-clan disciplines, you can pick from any of them that you are given tonight without having to run the normal rigmarole of learning them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Look at all those clan disciplines that you could pick from.
Yeah, pretty much all of them at this
bot,
point.
though.
Yeah.
Oh, but he doesn't have any.
He's got a
experience.
list.
He's a baby though.
See if
A
there's experience on the board.
little vampire bamboo.
So,
I don't like the look on your face right now, Braggy. What was that? That was suspicious. I'm suspicious of you.
What did I do? Hold on.
If you're suspicious, don't give your blood.
You just look entirely pleased about this, and I'm concerned about what you'll get up to this downtime. That's all.
So, with this, the blood poured into the cup, which is more like what would have been the fancy ice bowl with the amount of blood that was required.
Okay.
Braggy, what you doing with this big bowl of blood in front of you? This is the first time, too, that, like, the other times you've had blood have been bagged blood. It's like a Capri Sun, almost, mindlessly drinking it. This is the first time you look down at this bowl, this crystalline bowl, and it is full of this dark, swirling red vitae. Noticeably darker when a couple of people add their blood to it, but
Mm-hmm.
What you trying to say?
nothing.
Wait,
Some of you
I know
are
how to get-
older and more potent than others.
I know how to get him to drink it.
Yeah.
Had a splash of Dr. Pepper.
No.
Oh.
Do it with one of the bendy straws.
There is no Dr. Pepper in this room. You would have had to have said that before.
Braggy looks at this blood and he knows what he has to do. He just drinks it. Every drop that he can out of this chalice. Or whatever it is.
Okay. When you finish this blood in this vessel, there is a moment when it hits your gullet that it feels the most refreshing. You can reduce your hunger to 0. I'm going to give you that as well. You have no hunger
Oh my
going
god.
into the following night. Going into the following game, we're going to start you off at 0 hunger because of this. You've drank a lot of vampire blood tonight. It packs a punch. There is
That good shit.
part in the back of your mind, this feeling of kind of infatuation that you didn't even realize was there. That it's like a string is being pulled tight and then snaps. And you have this realization that even though you don't know what this person looks like per se, you know that they had bonded you. They had forced you to subjugate to their will against yours. In a way that is also very fucked up even for kindred. They implanted you with blood that you would not have been able to refuse. And so, with that, you are free of Aurelius's blood bond. So I should delete my GM note off of your picture real quick.
Tactical bleeding.
And I think that that's probably a decent place to end for the night. You have a target. For the moment, you have the upper hand. I will tell you that much. The way that Roland has disarmed this device, they don't know. That brick wall that you felt like you were baby slapping, you just made a big old hole in it. So, as this night comes to an end, there are decisions to be made over the coming few nights as to your plan of attack. There will be time for downtimes, absolutely. You get your 2 XP, and I'm sure that based on the activity that we've had in the Discord the last few weeks, that extra XP will be quite a lot of you immediately getting it. But when we return, I imagine that you will have all had the chance to discuss with one another what you're going to be doing next. For a couple of you, there might be information that you had previously sought out that could use a second look. With this new context.
Leon, are you pointing a finger at me?
Uh-huh.
You want it before before we're done?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. So after the thing is done, Braggy's looking okay. Tony will kind of like stand against the wall, like Leon's right there, so they can just talk real low and like look at him recover. So, I assume your sire didn't really tell you while you're in Chicago right now, did she?
She told me that we were in danger, that we were being attacked.
Mm-hmm. Well, as it turns out, I've been assigned a position of primogen-ish. I represent the people that don't have a primogen, which includes Clan Zamisi, so I've been given a bit of information. He, without actually like nodding his head or anything, he looks over at Fee and then looks back at Leon. Your sire is running from her sire, a very old monster.
Were you given the reason why?
Oh, it's probably assumed to be it's coming to eat both of you. Specifically her, but probably you by proxy because she made you and... Zamisi liking to break other Zamisi's toys. I'm not a big fan of treating other kindred as toys, so...
Leon, before we go, roll investigation intelligence. You're trying to recall anything that Zana may have told you about your grandsire. Add additionally to the dice pool 2. And don't worry about the difficulty. It's going to go off of these successes.
So, just the normal difficulty of 2?
Correct.
It can be. That's good.
That's enough. Absolutely enough, as it is a crit. With 4 successes, there are things that you recall in your mind about hints of what Zana has mentioned about her past before you. Her sire was a very ruthless Samishi. One that not only practiced the art of diablerie quite frequently, but also diablerized their sire. They would be technically considered a Methuselah at the level of which they would be. And they have been around for a very long time. So long, in fact, and so little contact was made, that Zana believed her sire to be dead, to have met final death or succumbed to Gehenna. Or the Beckoning. I forget which one is which. Gehenna's the good one? I don't remember. I don't know.
Gehenna's apocalypse.
Okay.
The beckoning means sires go away.
The Beckoning, it was believed
elders.
that her sire was lost in the Beckoning, or met final death as a result of. The reason that you fled here, with little to no information as to why, is because she has credible belief that her sire is alive and looking for her and presumably you.
And every bit of this that Tony would know, he relates in this moment.
She's just standing there wide-eyed. It's like, And she told me that the danger would be staying here. She wanted to leave. She looks back at her. She wanted to leave, saying that you all were there.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't know what it means. Zamisi and Giovanni are the old clan. Never really got along very well. It's not Clan Giovanni anymore. Purposefully. This is my last name. I don't actively identify as one. We're a new thing now. We are Hikata. And I'm in charge. Thank you, Prince. Of every kindred in this city who does not have representation. That means, whatever it means to you, you're under my protection.
Well, I appreciate Tony. I do.
If you need something, let me know. And he'll just slip a business card. And it's exactly as you would expect. It's black, it's got the G logo on it, it's got a phone number, and that's it. If you need help, you can hold me. Or 6.
Thank you.
The city changes everything. The old lines aren't there anymore, and we're trying to build something new and different and better. We're trying to be better than our elders had made. That's kind of the theme here. I think you'll get along here better than you expect.
The surprise and slight anger of this revelation seems to fade slightly. But Zelda has given me much. And anybody paying attention to her ghouls at those words, just you see them kind of slump slightly, not willing to say anything, but clearly this back and forth has gone on before. Thank you for this information. To have a discussion with my side.
If it goes badly. The old place in Chicago used to, well, they still do. They call it the Cable House. It's a weird little historical site. Middle of a bunch of skyscrapers in the corner. Looks old. Need leads in again. Does the Giovanni Mansion. You run into shit, you're in trouble, you go there. Let me know you're coming. You'll be safe.
Thank you.
Specifically.
And he will step away.
Specifically during this discussion, the actual word Methuselah was thrown out. For some of you, you haven't heard that word before. You don't know what that means. But when it is said, there is a weight to it that you even feel when it hits your ears. And with that, I thank you all for a lovely night of gaming. I cannot wait to see the Discord. And
Your answer.
it was fun. for me.
I didn't
I
know
hope
this
it
was going to
good
be a
times for you.
high-stakes game of operation.
This is- Who's my
Yeah,
wife?
and,
This is- ah.
Not the wife, no.
Meh.
So what you're saying is I should have fucked up a little more. Oh.
No, you were great.
No.
I should have fucked up. Oh shit! Touch the sides.
It's good
Well,
that
then
you
I would've
found
become
all 4 devices. So.
I wouldn't fucking put it past you.
Oh wait, did I say 4? Oh, sorry, never mind. No, Braggy is clean. He is once more the non-Borg Braggy. So
This kindred is clean.
that's actually what I was thinking in my head when I said it. I appreciate that. So with that, if you would like to set up a raid, one of my lovely moderators who has been doing that, because thank you so much.
Let
You are
Mizui
the
do it.
best.
She's the best at it.
And I expect that we will be back here on Monday evening once more to continue our tale. Again, there will be a downtime. You have a few in-game nights to accomplish certain tasks and get certain information that you've been looking for and doing things. Hit me up with all of that goodness, and we will see you all next time as I transition away and end this recording. Good night, everyone.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
Internet.
Bye.